What's going on, members of the BB community on the YouTube channel? I appreciate you all for being members of the group. Glad to have you all here. Hope you guys have been enjoying some of the content. Today I'm going to be going over a past trade that I took, and just to show genuine trade of it. Took one entry, and this is on a $1,000 account that I'm doing, so I was taking like super passives, and it's mainly for swing trades. This, funny stories, this is actually the only day trade I've taken on this account. I just wanted to get into it because it looked really good during that day, and I was kind of bored in chat. We were all just kind of sitting there looking at a couple things, but I saw a really good entry at a really risky contract. By the way, I never take these trades unless I see high probability, and even then I still don't like to do it just because same days can really put you in a bad habit. And this video is going to cover a couple of those different things, like the bad habit. You guys really should kind of kick this habit of trying to take same days. Could I have taken more than one contract, seeing that I bought it at 27 bucks? Yeah, we could have taken 10, 20 contracts, with no problem, and it not even overwhelming the account, and then we could have taken that huge gain, but we didn't. We only bought one. We're just trying to be passive. And this is also a good example of how you can potentially trade over time, just jumping into one contract, taking your time. But these are the levels for NFLX that day, and just kind of telling the story of the chart before seeing the actual trade itself. And what else got me in and out of that trade was we had a really good rally that day after an already nice day before that. As you guys can see, we had a really good consolidating day. They ended up breaking over the previous day high about right here. Previous day opens right there. But it was nice to see that. Whoop, it was nice to see they got past the previous day high, around here somewhere. They ended up hitting past it, holding above it, and getting a really good kind of 3-bar play breakout above that. Another good bull flag, riding the 9 the entire time. And look at the strength of that, all the way up. And then they had a nice breakdown where they had rising volume under. I liked the candle afterwards. I liked the hammer. And then I liked that nothing else broke back above it. So I stayed in my trade, And as it was breaking here, I got out. Now, the reason I got out at this level here, and I'll show you here in a second, was on XLC. We're approaching a good short-term level from the same day, and I just wanted to get out. But I also wanted to reflect on what could have been done to keep me in the trade. And this is a really big example I teach to everybody in the streams every single week. But as you guys can see, that was at about 11:03 to 11:57. So I'll circle my entry and exit on the SPY chart, and we'll see what I could have done better. And then we'll see what I did good on. So we'll start with this. So I bought about here on the SPY chart. Again, it wasn't SPY. We traded NFLX, but just kind of narrowing it down. And then 11:57, kind of towards the end of this candle, we ended up selling. So it's not really a huge distance. It looks like on SPY, this should have actually kept me in the trade, if anything. But again, we were trading an XLC ticker, so I wanted to stick with that. But it looks like SPY ended up giving us a really good entry back above here. Again, we could have definitely gotten back in on a better entry, seeing that it had a really good break under the 9, so we have that adding to it. We had a pretty good area of supply here, which going from the top of that trend before the breakdown to the open of that last green candle. You actually see we went up and rejected it with short-term supply there, and this would have been really good entry points on any of these hammers here, or we could have just waited till the first rising volume candle back under the 9. So that could have been a really good entry right here, instead of entering here and just holding through it. But we ended up grabbing, or this would have been a really good entry. And then honestly, exiting at this level would have been good, yeah, but honestly not exiting until we got to about this area here. You kind of see where this low is, to the top of that red candle. So there is an area of demand here, but overall, if you go from the wick to that meat right there, kind of where they pushed up, held support, and then continued higher, this actually would have been a great take profit spot. So we could have definitely gotten a little bit lower in comparison on SPY. The big thing I wanted to show that I did do good on was XLC. Whoops, no, I don't want to go to on demand. Turn that off. Side by side. And I already have this chart ready. I have to get this one ready. What is the day? Second, third. So we need to get so to get this chart up to par with this one, we need to add the previous day open, previous day low. It's going to be a little off because I don't have my setting on. Previous day high, previous day close. That's it. That should be it, yeah. Open, low, close, high. Pre-market low, pre-market high. It's pre-market low right here. Pre-market high somewhere right down in here. But overall, if you go back down to this chart and circle where I entered on this chart, I think it's this candle. That green candle right there is where I entered, and then apparently towards the end of this candle is where I sold. It's like right here. It's like right before the low of that candle. What I saw, and this is what I was using for reference that day for a better exit, was I saw that we kind of approached this. Well, we had a breakout that day. They held the 9, kind of in the same fashion you see here. They had a really good hold. They ended up continuing a little bit higher and smacking 59.30s. They ended up finally breaking back down under, and just like that other chart, there was a really good area of resistance here that they just couldn't get back over. They ended up creating a lower high again since that new high. and then they ended up breaking down and headed towards this area here, and that's why I started taking profits. But that ended up being a huge gain. Again, if you go to the chat, and I know this says swings on watch, ignore that. You can see I posted my trade review where it says 130%, and we saw how on SPY it could have definitely been better. We saw on XLC how I did just fine, and this is always good to look back on what you could have done better and also what you did good on. You need to cover both sides. It's kind of the same story as when I tell you guys, don't just look at bullish scenarios, don't just look at bearish scenarios. You also need to be looking at it from the reflecting point of view too. What did I do good on and what did I do bad on? What is something I could have done better? I'm not sitting here looking at this contract going, oh, I could have made 360%. I could have done, over 2 times that contract. I don't know why I didn't just do better. Reviewing is how you get better, going over things. And also another good lesson from this video that I wanted to go over is that you're not always going to catch the entirety of the move. At this moment in time, in real time, looking back at this, you're like, damn, I really did hold that over almost an hour-long period. I mean, it was 54 minutes. But you go back to the chart, and it's like, I'm like brain farting. It's like, why did I not hold it longer? Why did I not hold longer? And this is a huge problem with most traders. It's so easy at the end of the day to say, oh, why didn't I hold all the way to here? It didn't even break above the 9. Who cares? Get that into your head that you are not going to catch the entirety of the move. Could this have just pulled down to here and then bounced and you would have been screwed inside of your trade? Yeah, 100%. You would have sold for even less than 0.62, So there's a huge lesson behind not thinking about the would have, could have, should have, more in the aspect of reviewing. You need to be reviewing more and more, going, okay, this is what I could have done, this is what I could have saw, and then also looking back at what you did correct, like I said. But don't sit there ever and just stare at it just because you could have made more money or made a bigger percentage. You want to make those bigger gains, you need to review the facts of the chart, what's going on the chart, not just making up all this stuff and looking back afterward just to get that little bit of rush in you. Definitely want to avoid that. But please let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this where I kind of go over a trade I took. This I'm doing a little late, as you guys can see. It's the 7th. Oh, you can't see actually. It's the 7th when I'm recording this. This was taken on the 3rd in the $1,000 account. And if you guys would like to see some of the swing trading videos that I do for the lifetime guys in my Discord chat, because that's who the 1,000 account is for. If you guys want to see content like that, let me know. Comment below. It is a member only video, so you guys can comment all you want or just message me, whatever you want to do. But let me know if you guys want to see some of that content. But I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you tacked on to some of the lessons, tacked on to some of the quick TA, and I'll see you guys in the next one.